Are we live? This Hangout on Air is live. Hello, hi. Hi and welcome. I'm just so excited. Welcome to this webinar. I'm so excited. I literally had to restart my computer a minute ago. And I want to welcome you to this webinar called The Self-Love Cure. And I'm excited to show you how to feel great about yourself and have more ease, freedom, and joy in your life. And before I even get started, I want to make sure that you guys hear me. So there is a chat box here, and let me just know if you guys hear me and say hi, or whatever. I'm not going to be able to see the chat box. Well, I will be able, but I'm not going to look at it throughout the webinar, but later. But if you see what I just wrote there, and just let me know if you hear me, that would be fantastic. Okay, awesome. I'm super, super excited. This is going to be great. And I'm just taking another few seconds to make sure that this is all going well, and some people are still dropping in. So just bear with me a few seconds, and I will. Hello. Hi, guys. It's so nice. Hi, Ellie. Hi, Shannon. Hi, Beatrix. I see some people that I don't see the name, but many, many people are here. This is fantastic. Love it. Hi, Merit. Super awesome. Okay, so I'm not going to get stuck there. I'm going to check what you have to say later on. So feel free to put whatever you like in the chat box, and I'm going to use it also a little bit. It's just so, hi Zuzi. Okay, so great. More people are dropping in. More and more people are dropping in. Fantastic. Okay. So let me tell you guys, I'm really happy that you're here. I'm excited, and also that you just made it here to this call today live with me. I mean, I know we all have super busy lives, and I truly feel honored that you took the time out of your schedule to be in this training with me. And a lot of really nice people, like-minded people. So this is fantastic. I feel honored. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Sonia Bueno de la Torre. I'm a life and energy coach, and most people know me for helping women find inner peace, strength, and confidence to live a truly fulfilled and joyful life. And I'm passionate about that, and I'm happy that you're here to learn a little bit more, and that you're part of my journey just by being here on this webinar with me today. And I'm glad that so many people are showing up. I know that there are mainly women here today, but I actually do know that there are a few men, and I find this fantastic that we have a few brave men to join us. And I also, I'm excited because I also want to let you know that you are not alone with this. I mean, a lot of women, and I said a few men there, but we are mainly work with women, a lot of women. I would even dare to say nearly every woman is struggling in one way or another with, low self-esteem or some insecurities or confidence. So we are all in the same boat. And perhaps you have heard one of my trainings before, or perhaps this is really the first time you are actually exposed to what I do. But either way, I want you to know that I'm totally with you. And that means that I will give it my all, and my heart is super, super excited. And the teachings and methods that I'm going to share today in this webinar are actually tools that I still use in my life. And in fact, the work that I've been doing, or that I do, has helped me to feel so much better about myself, to love and accept myself. And I have to tell you, years ago, I would have never thought that I would ever love myself, and that I would free myself from my strong inner critic that was hammering, was hammering at me all the time. And today, I'm passionate about helping and supporting you to do the same. And I am committed to help you reclaim that beautiful feeling of knowing and loving who you are. So let me take a sip of water. I will have to do that once in a while. I talk a lot. On this call, I'm going to share with you some of the important pieces that I do in my self-worth training. And I want to make sure that this call is for you. So you are in the right place. If you have a deep burning desire to experience more confidence, more love, and more joy in your life, if you're ready to let go of your own negative self-talk, and if you want to become free to express who you really are, your authentic self, if you want to trust yourself and feel empowered to stand up for your dreams and for your aspirations, and you are definitely in the right place if you are ready to take your next step and to finally make a difference in your life. Yes, I'm ready. I think he's just so cute. I wanted to show that. Then you're here in the right place. If this sounds good, if this sounds that you resonate with that, I'm excited and you're going to learn quite a bit with our time here together. So this call is going to be full. I'm going to give you great information, and I hope that this is going to help you get started of letting go of your own struggle and to start feeling great with more ease and with more freedom and more joy. And obviously, I won't be able to give you all of my knowledge and all of my experience in this one webinar today. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to continue the conversation with me, and I'll let you know how you can do that later on this call. I want to give you a short overview about what we are going to cover today. First, I'm going to talk about the critical voice that lives inside of you, that keeps you locked up in self-judgment and also suffering most of the time. I'm going to tell you why it is important to become aware of this voice and show you how to get out of this destructive cycle. I'm also going to teach you a powerful exercise that will help you to feel better about yourself instantly. My personal desire is really to help you to love and accept yourself for who you are, because you are lovable, you are beautiful, and you truly deserve to feel that way. And even if you don't feel it right now, I know it's possible for you. There is a beautiful and bright being inside of you waiting to come out and shine. And I'm here to help you shine. And I also have something special for you as a little bonus that I want to share. It's something a bit more personal, and I will do that towards the end before we finish the webinar. And you're also going to see me live later. I'm going to have a few slides, and then you're going to see me live. So you make sure that you stay until the end. That would be fantastic. And if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, put them in the chat box. I will check your questions later and will answer them, hopefully, while we are still here on the webinar. And because you are maybe actually hearing me for the first time, I want to give you a bit of my personal story. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about me and where I'm coming from. So this is me today, mostly. I live in a small island now. I love the ocean. I am active. I enjoy my life. I volunteer at a puppy rescue place when I have the time that I really love to do. And when I look at those pictures, I really feel that the outside is a reflection of the inside. And this is really how my life is today. However, it hasn't always been this way. And it's important for me to share that because we sometimes look at people and think, oh, well, they have it all together. But I want to tell you my personal story, or some of it. And if you have heard it before, just, be with me and maybe you learn something new. I started to feel better about myself when I was very young, very early age. And when I was 14, I was already on my first diet because I was, or I thought I was too fat. And that was how I was feeling about myself most of my, my young life. I felt fat and ugly inside. And that was really the main message that I was giving to myself every day. I didn't have the awareness or knowledge of what was going on like I do now. I just really thought, this is who I am, this is how I am. And I was totally identified with this image of myself. I hated myself. I mean, I hated my body so much. And I was caught in shame a lot of the time. And at that time, I mean, I didn't go to the beach with my friends. When we, for example, originally I'm from Spain, when we were on vacations and I had really a lot of good friends, I didn't meet them at the beach throughout the day because I was just too ashamed of being in a bikini. And I felt super insecure in general. I had no self-esteem, I think. I missed out on a really good opportunities, joy in my life because I was feeling so bad about myself. I also had a very strong inner critic. I call it a killer critic. I was judging myself all the time. I was comparing myself with other women all the time. And of course, they all looked better than me. They were smarter, more prettier, more confident, more successful. And you get the picture. I felt totally insecure. And I had this deep feeling of not being good enough. I couldn't enjoy my body or my sexuality. And the thought of being naked was horrifying. And it didn't show so much on the outside, but, to be honest, inside, I felt depressed, sad, and lonely. And there were times that I was so desperate that I wanted to disappear or even die because it was so painful. It was a really dark period in my life, and I suffered from depression for a long time. And finally, I came to a point in my life, I didn't want to live like this anymore. I don't know why, but I felt like there's more. There is something more in life. That's not it. And it was, for me, it was either like live or die. I was now, I think, 26 or 27. And I made that decision. And I remember the day because making that decision made all the difference in my life. And I didn't know yet how to do it. But I remember the day clearly, and you might have heard this story before, but I was at this time in my life at a beach in Thailand, where I was with my boyfriend at the time. And it was beautiful there. There was no one. I mean, it was so romantic on the outside, and you would have thought, oh, this is beautiful, this is fantastic, this is paradise. But I felt horrible. I mean, inside of myself, I felt horrible, and I couldn't enjoy that at all. And I was sitting there at the beach, looking at the ocean, and I decided at that very moment that I would not go on vacation anymore or spend any money on something else until I felt good about myself, until I loved myself. And that's how I started my journey. I was totally committed to spend my time, energy, money, whatever it takes to make this happen for me. And then I went to my first self-love seminar. I took sessions. I found my mentors and coaches. And I even went to India to find myself, and I started to meditate. And to be honest, in the beginning, this wasn't easy. I seriously still doubted that it was actually possible for me to love myself. I didn't even know how that looked like, but I was just going on hope that I would find something that would help me to get out of my darkness. Because otherwise, honestly, and sometimes when I feel into it, it's hard to imagine now, but I think I would have not survived. I would have, I would not be here anymore if I wouldn't have made that decision for me. So I kept going because, for me, there was no way back. And because I did invest in myself and I actually did whatever it took, an amazing transformation happened for me. And step by step, I really freed myself from my strong inner critic. I released a lot of my negative beliefs and emotions, and I started to feel better in my body. I started to feel free. And now today, I'm enjoying myself in a way that I could have never imagined before. I really didn't even know that that was possible. And I mean, I trust myself. I love myself. I feel confident, and I'm very gentle with myself. And finally, I'm also enjoying my sexuality. I didn't even know what I was missing. But that's also because I have a totally different feeling about myself and my body. And the most beautiful thing is that I have a real sense of who I truly am, and a connection to my soul, to my higher self, whatever you want to call it. And I love the work that I do. And for me, it's all about being free to live who you are. And I'm having fun doing that. So, and I have to I have to laugh when I say this, but now I actually love to be naked. I love to go to the beach, and yeah, it's a great feeling. But listen, it's really important to also hear me that that doesn't mean that my life is always perfect and I feel like this all the time, 24/7, and I don't struggle anymore. That's not the case. I sometimes fall back. I mean, I'm human. I fall into old patterns, and I have to deal with things in my life, with painful breakups or heartaches or, emotions. Life happens to me like to everyone else. But the difference is how I deal with it, and that I don't get stuck for too long at all anymore. And most importantly, it really doesn't stop me from enjoying myself, because I know who I am, and I know how to get out of, how to deal with those things that in life, because they're just part of life. And this is just a wonderful feeling. I'm just grateful. And when I started my journey of really loving myself, I didn't have the intention to work with people, but it just happened because I really realized that that was my calling. That is my purpose. And my purpose now is to share my experience, is to share my knowledge, and help other women, and some courageous men, to love themselves. And the self-love program that I have is now really one of my favorite things that I do in my business. And I truly believe that self-love is the core to everything, is the core to every so-called problem we encounter. So we don't need to take a detour. You can go just right away into that and resolve it from a very deep level. So this, when I share my story, as some of the things are beyond words, the difference between where I come from and where I'm now. And the steps that I'm going to teach you today have had a tremendous impact in my life. And my intention, or, what I really want for you is to experience the same. This is what I want for you too. Okay, that was a long story. So let's get started with the content. I want to teach you a few things. So grab a pen and a paper. And I really want to invite you to eliminate everything that's going to distract you, and be really fully present in this webinar today. I mean, I know how easily I get distracted, especially when I'm sitting in front of the computer. And most of you, I think, are sitting on the computer. But even if you're somewhere else listening, it's on the audio. Just switch off your phone, close any other windows on your computer, close your email, Facebook, Twitter, Skype, I don't know, whatever you have going on. Close it and dedicate this time just for yourself and only for yourself. Make yourself valuable. Take this time to learn something about yourself or for yourself. And I also recommend to have some water next to you. And so take a moment to get comfortable. Do whatever it needs to, so that you can relax. And while you do that, I'm going to take a sip of water. I love water. Okay, so now just relax. Take a deep breath. And open your heart and your mind to a new way of looking at yourself, because I want you to be able to take what you learned today and use it right away to start to feel better about yourself. Take a moment, and if you like, close your eyes, just set an intention. Take a nice deep breath, inhale. center yourself and set the intention to be open to receive whatever comes, Just set the intention to be open and open your heart and your mind. Okay, great. So let's talk about what is actually stopping you from feeling good about yourself. Let's talk about that for a moment. One of the biggest reasons is that you don't accept yourself. Instead, you judge yourself constantly, you criticize your behavior, your thinking, your body, or your specific body parts, or your appearance. And with this negative image of yourself comes this nagging feeling that something is wrong with you, that something, is not right. Does that sound familiar? It certainly does for me and for most of my clients. And we do this because we are looking at ourselves through the eyes of the inner critic. And you might have heard about the inner critic, or the term the inner critic, before, or maybe not. Either way, I want to explain what I mean when I talk about the inner critic. But before I do that, I want to take you on a journey. So take another moment to get comfortable. Relax your body. Take a nice deep breath. And unless you are driving right now, please close your eyes. Just close your eyes for a moment and just listen and imagine this. You are sitting on the couch and you are watching TV. You just want to relax and enjoy your favorite show. So there you are with your remote control in one hand and your favorite snack in the other hand. That's when you notice someone sitting next to you. In fact, this person is sitting really close to you, and it even feels a little bit uncomfortable because this person is sitting so close to you. Then this person looks at you and says to you, "What are you doing? Why are you wasting your time watching TV? Don't you have more important things to do? You should work out more. Look at you. You really should lose some weight. What the hell is wrong with you? You don't even manage to follow a simple diet. You just don't have any discipline." And when you get up to get something from the fridge, this person follows you into the kitchen and starts yelling at you. "You're not gonna get something more to eat, are you? Come on, you are already fat. Look at your belly and your thighs. You will never lose weight if you keep eating like that. You're so stupid. You're just useless." So imagine this person following you wherever you go all day long and constantly pointing out what you're doing wrong. This person is with you when you go to the bathroom, when you look in the mirror, when you go out to a party, or when you go to work. This person even follows you into the privacy of your bedroom while you're naked and making love. How does that feel? How do you feel in your body? I mean, can you enjoy yourself while this person is around you all the time? Do you feel confident and sexy when you constantly hear how ugly and wrong you are? How bad does that feel? Do you feel ashamed? Do you feel like shrinking? Does it feel like a punch in the stomach? Or do you want to run away from this person? Or are you maybe angry and you just want to punch this person in the face? Just tune in. What does it do to you? Yeah, and if you feel like, share with me in the comment box. Just imagine that scenario. How does that make you feel? And also, do you know that feeling? The fact that you're here with me today tells me that you have felt this way at one time or another, or maybe you're still feeling this way. Or maybe you're thinking, "Sonia, no, I would never allow someone to talk to me like that all the time." So of course, why would you? I understand. That would be horrible, right? You wouldn't like to spend time with someone who treats you like that all the time. I totally agree. That's horrible. I mean, imagine that. But here's the thing. Sadly, the truth is that is exactly what's happening inside of you every day. This critical voice inside of you is following you wherever you go. And in order to get out of this destructive cycle, the first step is to become aware of your own inner critic, to become aware and realize that this is not you, that this is not who you really are. And this is really important, and I want to repeat that. You are not what the inner critic tells you to be. You have an inner critic. You have that critical self-talk, but you are not the inner critic. And once you realize that and you start to reconnect to the true essence of your real being and the beauty within yourself, you will see life through totally different eyes, and your life will change dramatically. Instead of looking at yourself through the eyes of the inner critic, you'll look through the eyes of love and truth, and that will make the difference. And of course, this happens also unconsciously. But let's go back to our earlier question. What is the inner critic, and why does it show up in your life? And here's why. Our psyche is made up of many different voices. These voices are called subpersonalities, and they act as if they were independent entities within us. One says this, another one says that, and they have really their own energy and their own personality and a voice of their own. You actually know this very well, and you are experiencing it every day if you are aware of it or not. For example, one of them says, oh, tomorrow I'm going to work out and I'm going to look so good. I'm going to start to work out, and finally, right? And then the next morning you wake up, oh gosh, I'm so tired. I'd rather stay in bed, right? Or you say, I'm going to go on a diet. And then you walk by the fridge and you see your favorite something in there. And another voice says, oh, well, I'm all right the way I am. I can start tomorrow. It can be anything, you know, like I'm sure you have your own version of it. Maybe it's quitting smoking or whatever it is. And these voices are quite active. And to demonstrate how active they are, I'm going to ask you to do a little, it's not even an exercise, there's a little thing with me. And I'd like you to take a blank piece of paper. Just take a blank take a blank piece of paper. That's difficult. Anyway. And in a moment, not quite yet, I will ask you to put that paper in front of you and take a look at it. If you don't have a blank piece of paper available, just look at the wall or maybe just close your eyes. So now empty your thoughts, empty your mind. All thoughts are gone. There's nothing to think about, okay? Just empty your mind and keep it empty. And I'm going to ask you to do that in just a moment. So keep looking at the paper or close your eyes and do this now for 10 seconds. And I want you to stop thinking and empty your thoughts for 10 seconds. Okay, do that now. Okay, how was that? How did you do? Did you by chance have any thoughts wiggling through you? Did you think of anything? Did you think of anything? I'm pretty sure you did. And even if the thought was, I'm going to keep an empty mind, I'm not going to think, I'm going to count for 10 seconds, or maybe this is stupid, whatever you were thinking. So the question is, what are those constant thoughts? What is this constant chatter? I asked you to be quiet. You told yourself to be quiet in there. So why weren't you? It's not so easy, isn't it? And somehow you are not in control of these voices. All kinds of voices are still going on, saying this, saying that, even though when you say to your mind, be quiet. And I want to let you know that, I mean, we all have these voices. And in my experience is that these internal voices are mainly running the show. They're operating in your subconscious mind on autopilot. Like, you know, for example, you can imagine like a program on your computer that runs in the background, and it runs if you are aware of it or not. And the inner critic is one of them, and it is the voice within each of us that criticizes us mercilessly. Now, I'm going to give you another example, and I want you to listen inside and see what comes up for you. And I want you to be aware of what's your first reaction, just your very first reaction. And you can also leave me a comment in the chat box if you want to share that with me. So just take a breath and listen. What is your first reaction? You are beautiful. You are truly beautiful, just the way you are. You are beautiful. Can you take it? Is there a yes, but? And how much of the time do you actually think that you are beautiful? And how much of the time do you think that you are a bit stupid or not good enough or fat or ugly? How often are you busy inside with a negative or self-critical voice? You are beautiful. And why don't you tell that voice to keep out, keep out here, jump out the window, yeah. Why don't you ask that voice, jump out the window and leave me alone? Apparently, this voice doesn't seem to be doing you much good, and yet it is a very strong one. In fact, how much is your inner critic influencing your life? And think about that for a moment. What percentage of your life is the inner critic active in you? Guess, tune in for a moment, and just whatever number comes up, the first number that comes up, put it in the chat box. What percentage of your life is the inner critic active in you and influencing you? Yeah, just put them, share with us. How much of your life? The most common answer I get to this question is really between 70 and 90. And I want to just take a moment to see what you guys are saying here. So let me just tune in here quickly. Okay, 75, 60, 50, and 80, 160. Wow, yeah, thank you guys. 70, yeah, I hear you. And what I just said, the most common answer is between 70 and 90. And sometimes it is even close to 100. And I just saw, you know, like there are some with 100. I was one of them. I was one of the 100 ones. But only when I really was honest with myself and I could really see it with awareness. And then when I was honest with myself, everything was actually influenced by that inner critical voice, mostly. And here's again, like if I tell your intelligence to stop listening to it and to tell it to go away, you would maybe say, a great idea, Sonia, but realistically, can you just do it? No, because if you could, you would have done it already and you wouldn't be here with me. Yeah, you wouldn't suffer from it. It's not that easy. The difficulty is to distinguish the voice from the voice of your true self. It is like you don't hear your true self anymore. And how much of the time do you actually think that this is you? That this is who you are? And I like metaphors and things to illustrate things. And I'm going to use a metaphor to illustrate this. And I call it the who's driving the bus metaphor. And you can just listen to me. You can close your eyes and you can really imagine this. Otherwise, fine. And I'm going to take a sip of water. Okay. Here's the who's driving the bus metaphor. Imagine that there's a bus, and it can be like a big school bus or any other type of bus, but it's a big bus where a lot of people have space. And the bus is full of different kinds of people. And each one is a unique character, a unique personality. One of them is maybe a successful businesswoman. Another one is a lazy one and doesn't get anything done and procrastinates all the time. One is courageous and powerful. Another is totally insecure and feels like a complete victim. One is a little stubborn child. Another is a controlling mother. One is nice and gentle. One is totally arrogant and looks down at everyone. One loves to be the center of attention. And another one is shy and just wants to hide from everybody. One is angry and aggressive, and one is scared to death. And there are many, many more. In every seat in the bus, you see one of these unique personalities. Well, that is your inner world. It is full of unique characters, internal parts. And it is not just a handful, it's a big bundle. And only one person actually at the time can drive the bus at a given moment. So one person is driving the bus. So what's happening is that one of them jumps into the driver's seat and starts driving the bus where it wants to go. Then another one jumps up and fights that one, and it will jump into the driver's seat and turn the bus around and go where it wants to go. So this wrestling match is constantly going on, and in the bus, and they're fighting basically who's going to drive. And whoever is in the driver's seat also has the microphone, and it says, I'm the driver and I'm the truth. I'm the only right way and everyone else should listen to me. And that goes on for a while until the next one grabs it. So this is the situation of your inner world. And the question is, where are you in all that? When do you, your conscious self, your true self, drive the bus? For now, just to keep using the metaphor, I will say that your true self, who you are, your consciousness, is a captive in the back of the bus. You have been wrapped up in string and you are imprisoned in the back. So you're in the very back. And in a sense, you have been hijacked and you have little control over what's going on in the bus. And not only have you been hijacked, you have been drugged. You can't see clear. So when someone jumps into the driver's seat and says, I'm the truth and I'm the way, part of you actually believes it and even identifies with it and says, yes, that must be the way. So you are there in the back, drugged and numbed, and you could be drugged by all sorts of things, right? But it's food, alcohol, whatever. You're just kind of like not seeing very clear. So the first step to let go of negative self-talk is to become aware of these voices inside of you, is to become aware of your own inner critic. The next step is then to disidentify with it so that you can be free and see who you really are. See who you really are. When you get in touch with your true self, like, that's the thing. When you see who you are, when you are able again to see who you are at peace because your nature is beautiful, it's bright, it's magnificent, beyond measure. It's the most beautiful, beautiful thing that you can imagine. And you are so much more than these voices. You are truly a being of love and light beyond even the physical body. And as I said, this being is just waiting inside to come out. And, when I feel into it, I feel the longing inside and the desire to actually feel that. And you deserve to feel that, definitely. And you can. So here's the good news. We have some good news. The good news is that self-love is already in you. It's already there. It always has been. It's the essence of your being. It's the essence of who you are. You don't have to look outside for it. And actually, you won't find it outside. You can do whatever you want on the outside. You will not find it. You can wait for the perfect man, for the perfect job, to make enough money. It doesn't matter. Maybe you even tried that already. You're not going to find it because it's already there, right? So that's just part of who you are. And yes, you need to, uncover and release all the stuff that is in the way for you to see it and to connect and look at yourself through the eyes of consciousness and love and truth, instead of seeing yourself through the eyes of the inner critic. Yeah, there's some work to do. It's not going to happen overnight. But I really want to repeat this because it is really important. And you might even want to write it down, but the essence of self-love is already in you. You have all that it takes. You just need to do the work to clear, and connect and access it again. Good. So now that you know that the inner critic, what the inner critic is, you might ask yourself, how do I get out of this struggle? And I will come to that in just a moment. But first, I want to talk about why you are experiencing this inner struggle, why this is happening to you. And I'm doing this because, you see, when you understand the intention, or if you just understand the logic behind it, you can actually use it for your own personal growth instead of just being a victim of it, right? So that's really powerful. And what I mean is that most people, as well as many coaching and actually therapy approaches, and I'm a little different here, but they treat the inner critic as an enemy, and they often try to fight it or to get rid of it or deny it. Just pretend it's not there. Just think your way out of it. But believe me, that doesn't work. That really doesn't work. I've tried it. I've really tried it. And when I started to work with my inner critic, I hated this voice. I tried to fight it, to deny it, to run away from it. But all that didn't help. You know what? It made it even worse. That made the inner critic only stronger, and I was struggling even more. And one of my ways of trying to escape from this, from this constant inner negative chatter, was by compulsively overeating. And the more I was eating, the more my inner critic, of course, was beating me up because I was gaining weight. So the more I was gaining weight, he was getting even stronger, and I felt even worse. And because I felt so bad, I was eating even more. And my critic got stronger and stronger and stronger. And the more I was eating to escape from the pain and the shame that I was feeling inside, the worse it got. It became this vicious cycle. Can you see that? It's really a vicious cycle. And many addictions or destructive behaviors or eating disorders are usually a sign for a very strong inner critic and a lack of self-worth. For you, it might not be food, and it doesn't really matter. It might be you smoke, or you drink too much, or you might be a workaholic, or you take too much care of other people and not on yourself, and you neglect yourself. You watch TV, or we're just, you're caught up in emotions. There are so many different ways for us to try to numb the pain. And it might be something completely different for you. But my guess is that you know the feeling of being caught in some sort of destructive or negative behavior. Yeah, let me know if that's true. I mean, I would just think that we all have those moments. And again, to fight the inner critic doesn't work. And because I learned it the hard way, I can save you lots of time and the trouble so that you don't have to go down that road like I did. And save the time, save the energy. And it was so important for me to learn all of this, because once I learned to handle this in a different way, I was able to save not only myself, but also my clients a lot of time and suffering by helping them transform this destructive force into one that is more supportive of their lives and relationships. And you might still think that the inner critic is a negative part of you. Maybe not. But you might think that it's a part of you that needs to be eliminated. But the original function, so first of all, you can't eliminate it completely. It's just part of your psyche. But you definitely can change how it affects you. But however, I want you to understand that the original function of the inner critic is actually to protect you. Yeah, and hear me out here. Be open to receive. It develops at very early age. Like it comes into your life very early to protect you when you are most vulnerable. Because when you come into this world, you are naked. I mean, literally, but also metaphorically speaking. You're naked, you're helpless, and you have no boundaries. You don't have the consciousness or strength yet to take care of yourself. You are totally dependent on the outside. So imagine yourself for a moment. I always like to take a nice deep breath in between. So take a nice deep breath with me. Even close your eyes if you like. Sit up straight. Imagine yourself as this beautiful little baby. Totally open, totally perceptive and vulnerable, trusting. You have no protection, no walls. You might even want to take your hands and open up, close your eyes and open up and imagine you are open completely, naked in the world. Take a breath and just feel how this feels. On one hand, this is such a delicious and blissful state. On the other hand, you might see that it's how easily it is to get hurt because you are so sensitive and you absorb everything around you. You take in all the energies, all the thoughts, all the feelings from everybody around you. Can you sense how scary and unprotected that can be for a little child? And that's the reason why the psyche develops this survival mechanism in order to keep you safe. And the purpose is to protect you from hurt, rejection, and abandonment by others. And when you are that little, abandonment means death, because we cannot survive when we are very little without somebody taking care of us. So this is a serious business for them, for the inner critic, to take care of that. So your inner critic is still trying to protect you, or maybe this little child in you, but its methods are not very gentle, and they're certainly not serving you anymore. They're certainly not serving you anymore. And in the meanwhile, this voice is out of control and acts unconsciously, and it's still running your life. Although you are an adult now. I mean, I don't know how old you are, but you're not a little baby here. Obviously, you're not a little naked baby. Listen to this. But listen to me. In the meanwhile, this voice is just unconsciously running your life. It's like a broken record in your head, and it's on autopilot. Unless, you change that. And it is important to understand that the inner critic actually came into your life with a positive intention, even though it seems like a flawed logic. It is actually a flawed logic, and I will give you an example of the flawed logic in just a second. But for now, just sit with that for a moment. Your inner critic has a positive intention. It is on your side to protect you. Take a deep breath. Let it sink in. Let that sink in for a moment. How is it to hear that? How does that feel? Does it maybe change the perspective of how you look at your inner critic? Does it make a difference? Let me know. And I want to share a story of a client because I just remembered, and that was so amazing. She had a similar experience, and her name is Nicole. And when she started to work with me, she was very similar to myself. She had an extremely strong inner critic, and she had no self-esteem. She was also overeating and very much caught up in self-hatred and shame. And in one of our sessions, we worked with the positive intention of the inner critic. And I helped her separate herself from the voice. And for the first time in her life, I mean, the goosebumps when I think about that. For the first time in her life, she looked at it in a totally different way. And she told me that it was like she was watching it from outside, like an observer, instead of being identified with it and feeling like a victim of it. And she was really so in awe, because she suddenly felt like, what did she say? Yeah, that her heart opened up for the inner critic, and that she even felt compassion and gratitude for it. I mean, that's a transformation, right? And she said it feels, yeah, like more like an ally instead of an enemy. It was really powerful. And I remember that because the next day she sent me a message. She only sent me one short sentence. She didn't even say, "Hi, Sonia." She was just so amazing. She just sent the sentence, "I feel like a new person today." And smiley, like she was like ecstatic. And that's just one sentence, and it was so powerful. So I just wanted to share with you that, this stuff is really powerful. And because I know that this work is so powerful and what an impact it can have, right? And it's really possible for you too. And at the same time, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not just going to disappear. And at this, and even then, also at the same time, it's also simple. It's simple. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's simple. You just have to do the work. You just have to do something about it. Because if you keep doing the same stuff, you'll get the same results as you have so far. So there is really something, there's a huge opportunity in doing the inner work. And I'm just an inner work junkie. My life, I mean, yeah, I just think there's nothing more valuable than to work on yourself. It's just my personal experience. Okay, but let me go back to the flawed logic. I wanted to give you an example, right? Okay, so, or let me tell you what's behind it. And when I say I at this moment, I would talk as the inner critic, okay? So imagine I say, if I, and by I mean the inner critic, if I tell you first what's wrong with you, I protect you from getting judged, hurt, or shamed by others. I tell you what's wrong with you so you can be better, and that will make sure you will be safe. And my job is to keep you safe. Okay, let me give you an example. So maybe you understand what I mean. I'm sure you understand what I mean, but I still want to give you an example. Let's say you gained a few pounds. Let's say you gained 10 pounds, doesn't really matter. And gaining 10 pounds is not the end of the world. I mean, it was for me back in time, but you know what I'm getting at here. It's not the end of the world. You didn't, commit a crime or something. But the inner critic will treat you like the worst criminal. It will say to you, you're fat, look at you, you're disgusting, you need to lose weight, otherwise you might never find a partner, or your partner won't feel attracted to you anymore, and so on and so on. I mean, it will make a big case here, if that's your issue. If gaining weight is not your issue, don't stay stuck there. You have your own issue. Just apply it to your own personal life. And that's just one example. It could be something different, as I said. So, but what's behind that? What is the positive intention in that? So, do you have an idea? Think about that for a moment, and I take a sip of water. Okay. So the positive intention might be to protect you from ending up being alone, from being judged or abandoned, for example, by your partner, or if you are single, to ever get up with someone. Or maybe to protect you from the pain of being isolated and lonely. So the flawed logic here might be, you need to be perfect to be loved. And by the way, this is a very, very common and very limiting belief that I find in a lot of my clients. And that's why working with blocking and limiting beliefs is a very crucial part of what I do with in my work. So your inner critic is basically trying to do anything to make you better, to spare you judgment, pain, and abandonment. Its intention is good. It wants to spare you that pain and keep you safe. So by knowing that, you will be able to deal with self-judgment in a much better way from now on. Just seeing that each time this voice is judging you, you know now that there's a vulnerability underneath that the inner critic is trying to protect. Can you see the power in that? Let me know. Put it in the chat box. I really want to, I'm going to take a moment. I want to hear what you have to say here. Can you see the power in that? Just say yes or no. Very absolutely. Oh, yes, I am. Okay, great. Yes, perfect. I've been trying to save myself and myself. Okay. Good. Yeah, we're going to in a few other things later, but yes. Okay, I just want to make sure that you really, really see the power in that. Great. Okay. Thank you, Penelope. Okay, yes. Okay, great. So, yes, brilliant. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Wonderful. Linda, Marty. Okay, super. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I just want to really make sure that this is that you're getting something good here out of here. Okay, out of this. Let me go back here to my what else I have to share. Otherwise, I get distracted by your chat because I would love to read everything you write right now. Okay, so you see the power in that. And here's the thing. Before, you were just a victim of your inner critic, right? A captive in the back of the bus. And now you are empowered and you have a choice. You can get up, walk to the front, and take over the wheel. This is really powerful. And of course, I think you might have noticed the bus is your life. So the question is, who is running your life, right? And can you also feel the difference? The difference between feeling like a victim and feeling empowered, right? Great. And you might ask yourself, if I was this beautiful, helpless little being, and this aspect of me was there to protect me and to take care of me, why in God's name is it so harsh, right? I mean, I had that question. Well, that's because your inner critic learns from the people that are around you. It is very common. It is actually very common that at least one parent, if not even both, are very critical or judgmental. And in defense of them, they don't do it intentionally. They are just struggling with their own inner critic themselves, right? They're not aware of it. And their parents did the same. They too were struggling. And when you are very critical with yourself, you cannot help it, but you be critical on the outside as well. You don't have to verbalize it or use certain words. It's the energy, but the energy is there. Yeah, it's the energy. And the inner critic picks up that energy, thinking this is the right way to do it. Again, with the best of intention. And this happens on a very deep and on a very energetic and non-verbal level, because it starts to happening before you even can talk or express yourself. But even when you can talk, you still take it personal. Yeah? So, because children just do that. The critic literally adopts what it sees as the most effective coping mechanism for the environment you are in. So if one parent is judgmental, the inner critic adopts that behavior, but also even masters it by being even stronger. And again, because it thinks this is the way, or the inner critic really thinks that's the best way to do it. And this is only one person. I mean, it's one parent. Obviously, the inner critic also learns from other family members, people around, teachers, church, TV, society, you name it. This goes on for generations. And unless you become aware of it and break the chain, you will pass it on to your children. And that goes on and on and on and on. So if you are here and you are a parent, or maybe a grandparent, or you are intending to have children, the biggest contribution, the biggest gift you can give to your children is to work on yourself and to become free yourself so that they don't have to repeat the same old pattern. And, I want to take a moment to share that because it's so crucial. When you don't love yourself, you might want your child to feel good about himself or herself, and you want her to be confident, but they learn on a very non-verbal, on a very energetic level. If you don't love yourself, how are you going to teach it? So this is really super important, and I think that's also how we really truly make a difference in the world, by working ourselves, because we then spread it out. Every person becomes free, and then we change it also for the next generation. And I'm sure you are aware, as I said before, this is not going to happen overnight. And there are steps to go. I mean, there are really steps to do. But really, if you only implement what you learned today and you use it in your daily life and you really be aware of it, it will already make a difference. It will already make a difference. And obviously, I can only scratch the surface here on this 1 hour call, or I don't even know, it's already 1 hour. It's not done yet. I mean, I think we set up for 75 minutes, so we still have some time to go. And I have to tell you that this is really just the tip of the iceberg. And there's so much more that I can teach in my self-worth training. But if you only take this little piece out of it, it will make a huge impact in your life and in your relationships. So let me repeat what we've covered so far. Let me repeat. So you learned that you have a voice inside called the inner critic, and this is a subpersonality created by the psyche to protect you. It is not who you really are, and even more important is the fact that the essence of self-love is already in you. Your real nature is beautiful and bright. That's what you learned. You are an immense being of love, light, and energy. And if you remember nothing else from this call, please take this with you. You also learned that the original function of the inner critic is to protect you, and that there's always a positive intention behind it. And you can even use this for your own personal growth. And the most important step is to separate and to disidentify from this voice. Let me take a sip of water. Time flies here. I'm loving this with you here today. Let me know how you're doing. You're still good? We still have a little bit to cover. I'm just enjoying this really lots. Okay, so when you disidentify from this voice, you do that with awareness and also by energetically separating from it, then magic happens. Once you do that, you can connect to your true voice again. You'll be able to see through the layers of these voices, and you get in touch with the essence of your real being. And that is such a wonderful and peaceful feeling. And I want to give you something practical that you can use at home to get started. It's a simple exercise. And I invite you to do it with me. Take a piece of paper and a pen, said it right, and just participate. Don't do it only in your mind, do it with me. I'm just gonna take a sip of water. You get something to write. Okay, and I want you to choose a negative statement about yourself. It can be something short and simple. Don't overcomplicate it. You can use this later with whatever you choose to. I'm gonna choose I'm not good enough here for as an example. So choose a negative statement, write it down. Can be I don't like my nose, or I'm fat, I'm stupid, something short, and I'm sure your inner critic told you already a few things that you can use, right? Okay, so you wrote this down. So there you have the statement. And now what I want you to do, step one, is I want you to write something else down. Write down, my inner critic is telling me, write that down. My inner critic is telling me. And then your negative statement. In my example would be, my inner critic is telling me that I'm not good enough. In your example would be, my inner critic is telling me that I'm fat, or my inner critic is telling me that I'm not making enough money. It really doesn't matter. Just use that, okay? So what you do is you use your awareness knowing that this is only a voice inside of you, but not who you really are. So each time you catch yourself hearing or saying to yourself, I'm not good enough, or any other negative judgment, you use your awareness to separate it first in your mind by saying, oh, wait a second, that is not me. This is just a voice that is talking to me. And you separate by naming it. Instead of saying, I am not good enough, you say, my inner critic is telling me that I'm not good enough. Just do it one time internally, because you will feel the difference already. I am not good enough feels like, oh my God, super collapsing. But if you say, my critic is telling me, it's kind of like a little bit away from you. It's separate from you. Okay, great. What's the first step. Let's do the second step. I want you to write down something else. So you can write that underneath. Write down the statement. Even though my inner critic is telling me, and then you put down your negative statement here, that I'm not good enough, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And I want you to do that with me. So I want you to use your own wording. I'll do it with me. And while you do that, you're going to tap on the side of your hand with 1 finger, 2, 3, 4 fingers. It doesn't matter. This is an energy point. Some people might know it as the karate chop point, right? But so you're going to say, even though my inner critic is telling me that I'm not good enough, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And take a deep breath. Tap the side of your hand. Do it with me here. Do it. That's it. It's going to make a difference. Okay, take another breath and say it again. We're going to do this 3 times. Even though my inner critic is telling me that I'm not good enough, or you use your own statement, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath, and let's do it one more time. And say it out loud. Even though my inner critic is telling me that I'm not good enough, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And take another deep breath. Great. And if you really went for it, you will feel already, and actually feel energy shifting already. So some of you guys are really noticing a difference. And even if you only manage to separate only 1% or even 0.5%, is already a great success, a first step. Okay, and I have a third step. What we want to do now, after doing this, is we want to replace the negative statement with a positive affirmation, and tap and breathe as well. So tap on the side of your hand, take a deep breath, and you might use your own affirmation, or you can use the ones I'm using here. Say it out loud with me. I am worth it. Take a breath. Tap the side of your hand. I am beautiful and powerful beyond measure. Take a breath. This is my true being. Take a breath. Keep tapping the side of your hand. Doesn't matter which hand. I choose to be loving with myself, and I'm going to start now. Take another breath. Great. You're doing great. I can feel it. Okay, great. Love it. And we did it really super quick, right? But I wanted to give you something that you can use at home. So here the exercise in overview. I'm just going to take a sip of water. First, you, whatever negative voice is there, then you change the negative statement to separate using that your inner critic is telling you. Then use even though you used your statement, I deeply and completely love and accept myself, tapping the side of your hand and breathe. And then replace the negative statement with a positive affirmation. And tap the side of your hand and breathe deeply. And do that at least also 3 times. Okay? And when you do that at home, make sure you take your time. Breathe. And I'm just gonna pull out something here. Just give me a second. Just want to show you something. I want to invite you to do this exercise for the next 3 days. And why the next 3 days? If you do it more or longer, it's better, obviously. But I know how our saboteur and you know, we are so easy in finding excuses not to do it. So I invite you to do this exercise every day for the next 3 days. And it's even more powerful if you have someone to do it with, like meaning that you hold accountable or you practice with, because you're going to have a lot of opportunities to practice. Your inner critic is very generous, very generous. I remember how much I hated him, and now it's I don't hate him anymore. It's just part of me and really trying to protect me. And he's not very strong anymore because I find different ways to protect me. So that's beautiful. But anyway, this is very powerful, and I want you to, I want to ask you to do that for the next 3 days. And each time you find yourself judging yourself, you can immediately say to yourself, hey, wait a minute, this is just my inner critic talking to me, trying to protect me. This is not who I am, and I'm gonna do this exercise, okay? So let me ask you, are you willing to do this for the next 3 days? And let me know here at the chat box. Just put a question here or there if you are willing to do this exercise for the next 3 days. And if no, it's fine. Just be honest, you know. But if you publicly say that you're going to do it for 3 days, the chances that you're going to do it are much, much, much bigger, because commitment. Oh, I didn't start the poll. I'm so sorry. Technology. Was waiting for you to answer, and I didn't even show it. Do you see it now? I love it. Let me know if you see it, and then say yes or no, right? So yes or no. And while you do that, and I look a little bit what you guys have said here before, it's an interesting thing. Okay, just want to see if you had any questions, something important that I missed. And if I did miss something, if you asked me something that I can't find, please send me an email. I'm not doing this intentionally, but you know, it's a lot of technology. Wow, so far we have 100% that are saying, yes, I love it. Love you guys. Not one person said no so far. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Okay, I'm gonna stop this screen sharing. So far I really gave you so much good information. But I really want you to get the most out of it. And I want to take a moment to share with you guys that if you resonate with or like what I spoke about in this webinar today, I do have a program for you. And I want to share some of it with you, because this program really helps you to transform your negative beliefs. You're going to master your inner critic and really experience more self-love, more freedom, and more joy. But I want you to see me, but obviously you don't see me yet. Let me see if I do this right. And keep saying yes or no. It's gonna be there for just a little bit longer. Okay, I love it. Still 100%. I love you guys. Okay, so I'm gonna stop the screen sharing, and I'm gonna share you a little bit about how you can take this to the next level. Screen share, stop. Do you guys see me? I hope so. Okay, great. So Thank you for being here for me for so long. You're still here. I need to take a sip of water. I've been talking so much. Okay. What I just said, I really have a special offer for you today. I want to acknowledge you, first of all, that you've been here so long. And that means something to me. And it also tells me something, that you're looking for something more in your life. And I have this program called Pathway to Self-Love, and I love it. And it's a program that, it's a private coaching program with me, one-on-one, because I love to help people to go deeper in that and really take their next step. And in this program, you get to work with me privately every single month. It's a 6 months program. And I will help you to release whatever's holding you back. We're gonna release old trauma, beliefs, and programming and patterns that are stuck in your system, that are holding you back from actually enjoying more self-love, enjoying more confidence, and enjoying more freedom. I think freedom is one of the most amazing things to experience, at least in my experience. So if this resonates with you, or if you think like this program is the right fit for me, I don't want you to buy this today or anything. I don't want you to make a decision to buy the program today. But what I want you to do is I want you to schedule a time with me, a call time with me where we can go on the phone together and we figure out what's your next plan and if this is a right fit, because I don't want you to decide on something that we are not 100% sure that this is the right fit. So I have a special offer for you today. I'm offering you a free discovery session, and it's a 45 minutes, and it's only 45 minutes because you have been here on the webinar, so you don't get this outside the webinar. And how you get that, if I'm technically up to speed here, is that I'm gonna display an offer here. That's pretty cool. So click the link, book now, and schedule a time with me. Let's find out what's holding you back and how we can move forward so that you can experience more joy, more freedom, and more love in your life. And let me tell you a little bit what you're gonna get out of this discovery session. So one thing that we're going to do is you're going to get a clear vision of what it is that you really want. And it's important to understand why this is actually important. And I want to share with you why it is important. If you don't know what it is that you truly desire or what you long for deep inside, you're not going to get there. Not only that, you won't have the motivation, the desire, or the commitment to do something about it. It's like, I sometimes use that example. Imagine you go to the airport and you go to the counter and you say to the person on the counter, I want to have a ticket. And this person asks you, where do you want to go? I don't know. I just don't like where I am now. I want to get away from here because I'm unhappy. I really hate it here. I want to get away from here. And she still doesn't know where you want to go. So it's very difficult to get a ticket to where you want to go. She might give you a ticket, but you don't know where it's going to heading. So I help you to get a clear vision of where you want to go. Then secondly, we're going to find out what's the number one thing that's actually stopping you from moving forward. And also you get some action steps so that you know exactly what to do. And I think even the most important thing is that you're going to get out of this session is to really leave that session with the excitement that you know exactly what to do and with the feeling that you can do it. And this is important because you might not believe yet. I mean, I didn't. You remember my story? I didn't believe, but I just did it because there was something telling me, yes, I need to do this. So if you have this yes inside of you, if you feel, yes, I am willing, I am committed to do whatever it takes, I really want this for me, and you are ready for a deep change, schedule a call with me. Let me help you. And I know we can do great work together. And this is not for everyone. This discovery session is really not for everybody. And I want to be also direct and real here that I only work with people who are serious, that they really have a deep burning desire to do some transformation, that there's a pain and you really are willing to invest in yourself and to do the work because you somehow know it's worth it. So if you are truly ready and this sounds good, then I'm super, super happy for you to take advantage of one of those. So in case technology didn't work out, I wanna tell you how you can schedule this time with me. So I think I'm gonna say it out loud first here, so that's easy. Go to my site, beautifulyoublog.com/discovery session, and you get the unique opportunity to get a 45 minutes free consultation with me. And I'm also gonna put it in the chat box. Let's see if that works. Wouldn't that be fun? Okay. And please let me know if you see it. I'm actually enjoying this. I was super nervous that this is not gonna work. Okay. Could you repeat the positive phrases? Yes, I can do that at the very end. And don't worry, there's also a replay. I can't see your name, sorry, it just says first name, but you just asked, I was super busy doing the exercise. I love it. And didn't get it written down. Could you repeat positive? Okay, yes, I'm gonna do that. And otherwise, send me an email and I'm happy to send it to you, or you watch the replay. Okay, do you guys see the link? beautifulyoublog.com discovery session. Okay, perfect. So you can go ahead and book your session with me now. I can't wait to talk to you. And when I look over there, and I don't look over you, it's because I look at the chat box. Just wanted to make you aware of that, right? So that you don't think I ignore you. I'm not present. I'm super present here with you. Okay, great. Oh, and by the way, I promised you that I have something that I wanted to share with you, something special. And because you're still here with me, I mean, you are still here towards the end, I'm really even more excited to share that with you. It's something that I'm going to read, and you will see why this is so special for me. And just for you to know, as long as the webinar is running, you can book the session as soon as the webinar is over. You cannot click that link anymore. At least not here. I'll have to see. Okay, so what I want to share with you, and I'm also going to say why this is special to me, because I said there's something special to me, and it's always very special when I share something that is that comes from my highest aspiration, from my true being, from something that exposes me in a different way. It's a poem that I wrote, and I don't share them very often, even though I published a Kindle book even, and that was a journey, but it's always very precious and something vulnerable. And I feel honored to share this with you, and it's called My Dream. And I want to share my dream with you. And this is very precious. So I hope you enjoy it. And I'm going to read it because in my experience so far, it has more power if I read the words than if I would try to memorize them. Why? I don't know. I just trust. So take a nice deep breath. It's only going to take a minute. Relax, sit back. I'm going to give you another minute after that to schedule a time with me. So let that go for now. Take a nice deep breath, relax, and just listen. And let yourself tune into the energy, because that was really given to me from my higher self. And this is my dream. Let me take a sip of water. My dream. I dream of a world full of love and respect. A world where the outside, the inside reflects. A world of acceptance, wisdom, and trust, not only for moments, but something that lasts. Blaming, complaining, pain in disguise, this happens daily in front of my eyes. It makes my heart sad, and I wish I could turn it, but I know and I trust that it's part of the journey. It is up to myself what I do with this dream. I have all that it takes, and I know what it means. It takes courage to love and respect who you are. Thus, the greatest of blessings and beauty by far. Tune in and explore and do all that it takes. The world is in need, and what a difference it makes when you turn deep inside to your being of light. It awakes your true self and your soul will ignite. Don't waste any more time and get out of the dark. You are more than you know. Start to see who you are. It is up to us now. Start to clean and to shine. I invite you to join in this dream here of mine. Thank you so much. I really even get a little emotional. It really touched me to share this with you today. I just need another breath. It's so beautiful, the energy. I thank you so much for having been here with me. Thank you for allowing me to share a little bit of my being. Don't waste any time. Let yourself shine. I'm gonna end this webinar in just a minute, or maybe even less than a minute. If you want to take advantage, schedule a time with me now. I can't wait to hear from you. Let me know how you're doing. Do those 3 days of exercise. And remember, you are beautiful. And you just have to get the stuff out of the way so that you can see who you are. And take a moment, I know it's just another second. Close your eyes. Take a breath and imagine yourself. Imagine how it would be to love and accept yourself unconditionally. Close your eyes, imagine, take a breath. How would it be if you trust yourself? You're confident, you stand up for yourself. How would that be? How would your life be different? Maybe you're just more relaxed. Maybe you have more space. Maybe you have more joy. Maybe you have better communication, whatever it is for you. Just tap into that energy for a moment. And I can really feel it, guys. You're beautiful. Take that with you. Thank you so much for being here with me. It was a pleasure. It was an honor. And I hope I will see you soon. Have a beautiful rest of the day. Last 10 seconds to schedule a call with me. Do it now. And I will see you soon. Much love. Bye-bye.